Hi there, I'm Luca and you're on our culinary journey with me. And we're here at the Monadnock Flooring on Ralston Street at our Culinary Journey Studios. We're going to be cooking appetizers today. And today joining us, Tom, Richard from Vermont Custom Cabinetry. You try and say that too fast. How you doing, gentlemen?
Hey, Luca, great.
All right, we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to cook appetizers. It's a mussel dish, a scallop dish, and shrimp done as appetizer size, or tapas as they would be in Spain. Smaller portions. It's going to be a lot of fun. No shellfish allergies, right?
No.
We're good? All right, good, because that would change the whole show. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to do mussels with a little chorizo sausage to spice it up. The segment after that, we'll do shrimp with a little bit of spice to that too, with some pepperoncini. And then finally, a little bit of spice, but a lot of cream and vanilla with some scallops. So that's it. I have the gentleman here with me. We're at this great kitchen here at Monadnock Flooring, and your culinary journey starts now. Hey, welcome back. You're starting your culinary journey now, and we are going to do seafood appetizers. You're going to absolutely love this. I'm here with Richard and Tom. We're here at Monadnock Flooring in our Culinary Journey Studios, and we're going to start off, gentlemen, making mussels with chorizo sausage. I get the inspiration from a tapas I once had, which had a little bit of both in it. And we're going to make those real quick, and I'll show you how incredibly easy it is to make mussels. So, you ready for this, guys? Okay, it gets good. All right, so the first thing we got to do, we get our pans on nice onto that medium heat, and I have these wonderful silver, see what's the name of them? Swiss diamond pans that I use that are actually coated, right? So that way all the heat kind of goes really nice together and goes all around, and I'm trying to find the word for that, but we'll find it out later. You know the word I'm talking about? No, you don't. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add some shallot. We're going to start off with some shallots, and I love shallots. I think the difference between most home cooks and restaurant cooks is our use of and love of shallots. And I'm just going to rough chop them, and they're going to be one of our first ingredients in the pan. Tom, if you do me a favor,
sure.
Can you grab the mussels for me? And that's how quick this is going to go. Now, a lot of times people will ask me, you know, how do you cook so quickly on the show? What I like to do is find items that we can cook with that cook quickly too. And a lot of people have that same issue at home. You know, you want to cook these great elaborate meals, but there's not a lot of time because it's a long day and what have you. And how to do that? Well, find ingredients that cook quickly. Mussels and chorizo sausage. The two reasons why they cook quickly, mussels will cook just within minutes. They'll open up very quick. And chorizo sausage is already pre-cooked. So it'll cook quickly as it is. What I'm doing first is I'm getting, let's get that down to a medium. I'm putting in my limes now. Now, some people like to squeeze lime juice into things. What I like to do is get the limes caramelized in there. Then I'm going to add my shallots. Smells good already, guys?
Yeah.
So did you catch that lime? Just like popped right there. So we're getting all that lime flavor out. There we go. Let me get myself. And we're caramelizing the shallots in there. A little salt, pepper, and ariosto. And then we're going to get our mussels in there. We're going to get them cooking. Now, mussels, the meat's all in the shell. You want to make sure when you get your mussels, they're all closed. Now, if they do go to open, by pressing them down, if they close up, you're going to know they're fresh, and that's a big key. I put extra salt and pepper into something like this because if you just put in a little bit, remember, all that flavor is in the shell, right? So we're just letting those flavors kind of, the salt and pepper is going to attach to the shell just a little bit, but we don't want it too much in there. Now, remember, this chorizo sausage is cooked. Now, I don't want to caramelize it. I just want to get some natural flavors off of it. So we're going to cut this down. And this, even by itself, as you could use chorizo in a pasta dish. You could use it in just in a saute by itself. You can't go wrong with it. So let's give this a little toss so we start getting all those flavors together. We're going to add a little bit of garlic to this. And that garlic is going to go a long way. Again, we don't want to add it in too early. Those of you who've watched my show before know by adding in garlic too early, it's going to burn, so we don't want that to happen. So we have our mainstay of ingredients. What I like to do is add a little color to the mix, even more than you're already starting to see, and that is by using some grape tomatoes and just cutting them down. Now what I didn't do is sometimes I'll add things early on in a dish to let them caramelize, let them bring out a lot more flavor from the dish. But in this case, with the grape tomatoes, I don't want them broken down too much. I want them to taste fresh and vibrant. So that way when you bite into them, you're going to get that slight acidity, but even the sweetness, because we're using the grape tomatoes, which are a little bit sweeter. You can use cherry tomatoes. You can chop up whole tomatoes. Either way, you can't go wrong with that. So I'm sure the camera will get a good shot too. See how these are starting to open up, and I really haven't done anything? They're cooking just like that. If you do a bag of these mussels, and what we're going to do is, if you do a bag of these mussels and you get them all in a pan, and one or two of them don't open, discard the ones that didn't open. You don't want to try and pry open a mussel. We're going to add a little sherry wine. And then we're going to kind of let that just get a nice saute to that. We'll get it a little quieter in here. All right, so pretty simple so far. You guys can do this at home?
Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
That's what it's all about. And it's going to be cooked so quickly. Then what I want to do is I want to grill some bread for this too, because mussels without bread just should never be. Let's get that a little bit lower. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back here, get that one on. There we go. Bingo. And then we're going to just grill some bread. And the cool thing about grilled bread is how easy it is to make. It's another thing we think of. It's like, oh, all these things that you're doing sometimes take a lot of work and time and effort. This is a nice focaccia bread. What I'll do is put a little bit of olive oil over each of them. And you can put any flavor you want on there. You want to put some garlic oil, anything you want. I just want to do a little salt and pepper. And then once I season them, I get them right on the grill pan. There we go. So guys, I love this kitchen you got here that you put together for me. I want to show one shot. While this bread is grilling, I got to show you guys something really cool about the kitchen we have here. And I don't know if this is like the newest thing, but my kitchen doesn't do this at home. You ready? Everybody watching? Just push and, whoop. Now that's pretty cool. Did you get that? Because that was cool.
So that's the soft close slides. That's in all of our kitchens now. It's standard, along with the hinges on the doors.
Really?
Yeah.
Now the idea behind the hinges are that they'll last forever, probably.
Well, it's just a high-end feature that it's a soft close.
And the doors do the same thing?
Exactly.
Sure. So if I do that, it's going to close.
Yep.
Where do I get it to? Right about there?
Right about there.
No more open cabinets at home. That's a beautiful thing. All right, let's go back so I don't burn this. I'm too excited about the doors. So we're going to get that grill. You see the grill marks on there? How nice they came out? Really simple. That's all we want to do is get a nice little grill, toast it up just a little bit. Let's go back to our mussels and taking them out. Oh, man, look at that. Look at all those flavors just coming together. And we really didn't do too much to that. Now, there's two ways to finish this. There's spice in here. I like to level off the spice playing field with just a little cream. It also creates a nice sauce to it. Or you could have just left it the way it was. But we have some great, great flavors. So let's just bring that down. A little more salt and pepper. A little more ariosto. Let's get the bread out. So real simple by moving this over and getting our plates going. Watch how easy this gets, guys, and how good and yummy it's going to be. Then I'm going to teach you how to eat a mussel without a fork. Have you ever done that before?
No.
No.
Besides just using your fingers?
Fingers, yeah.
All right. Okay, let's do this. So you have party over, you have company, you have people that want to do something different. You go buy yourself a bag of fresh mussels, some chorizo sausage, and a little bit of ingredients, and you have yourself a great appetizer. Easier than doing just about anything. And that's how quick it's going to cook. So let's get these in here. How's that look, guys? Looks good?
Looks like a meal.
It is a meal for you and for everybody else that's standing around. You forget, I have camera people that only do this for food. they actually carry one of those signs, "We'll tape for food." Now, find one of these that aren't open, or the shell might have, the mussel fell out of. You reach in and you use it as your fork.
Nice.
That's good. So, gentlemen, you start your first course, or your first appetizer course. Don't eat it all, because you probably want to share a little bit. And that's how easy it gets. So we're basically doing our first mussel. The shrimp one's even faster, the scallops even faster, and we have some great appetizers coming up. So don't go away. We're doing shrimp next in a Culinary Minute. Enjoy. Is it good?
Fantastic.
Hi, I'm Luca Farris, and this is our Culinary Minute, and we're here with Dean from Your Kitchen Store. And Dean has an amazing amount of products that I love to use on the show. And one of the things people always ask is, what do I do with a dull knife? And Dean, you have the answer.
Lots of people think this is a knife sharpener. It is not. It will hone, a steel will hone a knife. You want to hold it on your table and just pull it at just a little bit of an angle. If you do that every time you use your knife, you'll have a lot less time between sharpenings. It will stay sharp longer.
Right.
But it is not a sharpener. For a sharpener, you really need to rework the blade. This is my favorite right now. You pull it through up angle like that.
Right.
It starts to change the edge of it, and then you pull it down like angle like that, and it hones it and gets off all the rest of the edge.
Back in the old days when I was starting my first business, I used to have to send my knives out to get sharpened, because or you had to use the wet block and then the dry block and the this and that.
Take practice.
And it took a lot of time, and if you did it wrong, you ruined your blades.
Right.
And no matter what you did after it, you're not cutting the same way. But this kind of takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
It's pretty foolproof.
Right.
And if you really want foolproof, then there's electric. This will select an angle for a Japanese knife or an American knife.
Wow.
And it will put a brand new edge on, or just sharpen and then hone. It's got multiple stages, so that you can take the worst knife in the world and resharpen it.
So sharpening is important to your knife, but honing is something you should do for every time you use your knife, right?
Or every 2 or 3 times, and
Okay.
it'll be a lot longer between sharpenings.
Between sharpening. So a little product like this will go a long way in your house, sharpening the knife.
Forever.
And we're a sharp duo here. So we'll see you on the next Culinary Minute. Hi there, and welcome back to A Culinary Journey. And how are the mussels, guys?
Fantastic.
Enjoyed them?
Yes.
You did have a question while we were off air. We talked a little bit about what chorizo was. Chorizo is a spicy Spanish sausage. And there's 2 different types you'll find. You'll find that softer version of chorizo sausage, which is like that one, where it's malleable and what have you. And then there's drier version, which is more Spanish in origin, which you could actually eat with bread, and it's phenomenal. So if you ever get a chance to do sausage, chorizo sausage, do it. And it's great how that little spice helped kick up a little bit, and kind of a lot of different flavors. So what we're going to do is the same concept, but with shrimp. And instead of a Spanish feel to it, we're going to give it an Italian feel. So we're going to do shrimp pomodoro with pepperoncini, and that's going to be the first thing for our dish. Now I've pre-roasted these. I have one that's not roasted and one that's a little roasted. You'll see the difference. Some are, some aren't. Now you could do it one of 2 ways. You could pan roast them right before you serve them, the pepperoncini, which are a mild spicy pepper, usually found in brine. Or you could just pan roast them all the way through, or you could have them pre-roasted, and they're great on sandwiches. I'm not the biggest fan of them, just so you know, I have a garbage drawer, which is the coolest thing in the world. All right, so you could by themselves, just in the brine. They taste briny. It's not the biggest flavor I like having, so I like to roast them a little bit. And so we'll just do that. We're going to we had our oil, we got our pan on. And Tom, if you could grab the shrimp for me.
Shrimp.
You're my refrigerator guy today.
Got it.
Hey, for those of you who are just joining us, our guests today are Tom and Richard. They're from Vermont Custom Cabinetry, and they built the cabinets that we're here with today. Thank you, sir. And by them doing that, we have this beautiful brand new set. So can't go wrong with that. So again, the little trick I did with the lime in the last segment, I'm doing with the lemon, where I'm letting the lemon caramelize, and we'll let those flavors just kind of come out. And caramelization is basically this. You take a fruit or any other, even a protein, and you let the natural flavors come out. And caramelization is all about sugar. All these ingredients have sugar in them. Proteins have sugar, fruits have sugar. And by letting them cook in the pan, you're letting the sugars come out and add more flavor to the pan. I mentioned before about one of the differences between home chefs and restaurant chefs being shallots and how much I like them. I think another difference is the amount we let things cook and how we just let it. Luckily, I get to talk while I'm doing this, so I'm taking something like the shallots and cutting them down, and I'm letting the lemon caramelize, and I'm letting the pepperoncini roast and caramelize. So, you know, I'm able to do that. We're going to do the same thing now with our shallots. Put that right there, and we'll give that a little toss. Now, all this, right, even before the shrimp goes in, and shrimp cook relatively quickly, but I'm still trying to get all these other flavors to come together and to really be part of the dish. I don't want shrimp and then a couple of ingredients around it. I want shrimp that have flavor from the ingredients around it. So that's what we're doing. As far as the shrimp go, what we're using today, these are called U2630. And when you hear the numbers, I mean, I think that's one of the things everybody always asks me. So when you hear 2630, U6, U this, it means that in 1 pound, you'll get approximately 26 to 30 of these shrimp. Now, I actually get them peeled and deveined, which means that the vein is out and they're already peeled. And I get them with the tail off because I don't like tail in my shrimp. So, and I know that's always a big thing. You go out to eat or you do it at home and you always have that tail on. But if I'm doing them like this, I really don't want any tail on my shrimp. So now we're getting those in, again, with the flavor that's around it. We have the lemon juice. It's really important to have citrus at all times when you're doing seafood. I love the idea of having a little bit of citrus in all of our seafood. Just gives it a pop, and it gives it a different level of flavor. Now you go from the gray to the opaque, right? You start getting that color, and look how quickly it's going to cook. Again, finding ingredients that cook quickly will help you do a quick dish at home. Now we have a little bit of spice in here from the pepperoncini. Gentlemen, like heat? You like to spice things up, or you okay
medium,
with that?
Medium.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get a little more heat with some red pepper flakes. Really give you that whole Sicilian feel. And we'll add just a little bit of white wine to this dish. And that's called deglazing the pan. We want to deglaze the bottom of the pan that has all these great flavors that have been cooking there. And we're deglazing the pan. And wine itself, that acidity of the wine, kind of pulls out other flavors in what we're cooking. It's all about layering. And I guess, you know, even when we're working with wood and things like that, it's got to be about knowing the grains and knowing what fits right and that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
So it's the same exact thing. It's the same concept we would use in cooking and we would use in pretty much anything else. So what we need to do here is we're going to crush up some tomato. Now you pretty much could use just what we had. You don't even need the tomato if you didn't want to. A little bit of juice. I like to use what's called San Marzano tomatoes. They're tomatoes from Italy. It's the region that they come from, the San Marzano, but they're just basically plum tomatoes. No garlic in this dish, but that's okay. You don't need garlic in everything you do. Now, what we'll do is we'll let that cook down. One of the things about tomato sauces and marinara sauces, and we'll do a whole show on that people ask too, is do I have to let them cook for hours? You know, is it that really deep cooking? It really isn't. It's really about just letting the tomatoes cook to heat up and then taking them off. Because if you buy good tomatoes, you don't need any of that. Here we're going to add a little fresh parsley to this, a little more salt and pepper. And voila, we're done. The only thing I feel like it's missing, I don't think it has enough lemon juice, because I like to see a lot of lemon juice. Let's get some lemons on there. You can make this at home, right? See how easy that was? It's so incredibly fast and easy that I even could have a show about cooking this. That's incredible. So anyway, let's get a spoon here. And then layering our shrimp on the plate. And the thing about shrimp, again, that it cooks quick. You got the roasted pepperoncini. You guys are missing all my fire shows. Usually I do a lot more flambe, but in this case.
More pyrotechnics.
There you go. Put some tomato in the middle of that one. This one. Now, if you really do it, I mean, if you want to, some people have done this before. You could actually eat the lemon because it's cooked down so much. I've actually done fried lemon in calamari that you could eat the whole lemon. And this one's cooked down, so it's pretty cool. One of the things, too, I added the shrimp a little later in the dish, too, for another reason. I wanted to cook the shrimp in one dish. I didn't want at all to have the shrimp overcooked. And I think we've all had overcooked shrimp once or twice where it got really, really tough and rubbery. And we're going to try not to do that here today. So, monsieur, your shrimp dish. Yours, monsieur.
Thank you.
And that's it. We got 2 down, 1 to go. It doesn't get much easier this or much fun. On the third one, when we do the scallops and the vanilla cream and the Moroccan flavors, we'll bring in some wine onto the show. How's that?
Excellent.
All right. Don't go away. We'll be back in a culinary minute. Ooh, I caught it. Hey, everybody, we're back on a culinary journey. We're on for our last installment. Gentlemen, Richard, Tom, thank you for the set. This is great. This has been a lot of fun to work on. Yeah, it's going to be good doing this with you. So what did you think about the first 2? We did okay? Something you could recreate. I mean, that's a question I asked on the other ones.
After a couple tries, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to try one of them tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're going to make it home tonight? Perfect. That's the shrimp one or the mussels?
Mussels.
You're dying to do that with the mussels, right?
Yeah.
You're going to bring it around with you? You
tweezers,
keep
yeah.
one with you all the time now? That might not be a bad idea. Well, the last one, I think we're going to show everybody the theme. And with this last one, with the scallops, would probably kind of bring it all together, is that it's the same. You notice we've done the same cooking concept for each one. It wasn't totally different techniques to create it. We're caramelizing our ingredients, we're adding our fish, and we're finishing off the dish with the wine or the tomato or cream. And that's the same thing we're going to do here. Now, I did promise you in this segment that I'd have some wine, so I was opening that up. This is a little glass of Chardonnay to get you going. If we started it early in this segment, we would have had a party by the end of this. But there you go. Nice glass of Chardonnay to start. You're very welcome. Enjoy. And we've done Spanish with the tapas. We've done Italian with the pomodoro and the spice. And we're going to finish it off with a little Moroccan feel. And Tom, one last time, scallops out of the fridge. And I know there was a reason why I had guests on this show, is so that they could get my stuff out of the refrigerator. We're going to do, of course, you know, I like my shallots. And when people say, what are shallots? Basically, they're just, I like to call them a cross between garlic and onions. They're not quite as pungent as an onion would be, but they definitely have that nice oniony flavor with a light aroma of garlic, and goes great in every dish. What I'm putting on here is a blend of spices that I use at the restaurant all the time. It's got a little bit of coriander, cumin, and a little bit of chili powder. That we actually roast all the seeds off, and then we then take the roasting and pulse it in a coffee grinder, so we get this nice little toasting, and this nice little Moroccan spice. Little oil in the pan. Now with scallops, you could do 2 ways. You could dry toast them or dry roast them, where you take a hot pan, get it piping hot, and then without any oil, put the scallops in, and the moisture from the scallops will help them, and then peel them off when they're ready to pull away. Or you could do it with a little oil. I just like to have a little oil because we're going to get some nice color from this anyway. Make sure we get a little bit of sizzle. I've done this one before, a variation on this one before, and just love the way the color comes out and the contrast. Now, scallops are one of those that cook quickly also. You want to be careful that you're not doing them too long. So we're going to start adding some of our ingredients around the scallop, like the shallots, and the vanilla bean. Now, vanilla beans are exactly that. They're a bean. And inside of this shell is where you find all the beans. So let's see if we can get that. Take a knife, cut it in half, and then you run down, there it is, the side with your knife, and that's where all that vanilla love is right there. This thing is just tremendous. So we get a little bit of that into our pan, or not. Let's get another one. That's what happens when you go live. Get a little bit of that into our pan, all right? And then what I do, there's still a ton of that in here, and we're going to let these cook in our pan. We're not going to eat those, but we're going to let those cook, and the vanilla bean, the pod or the fruit that's inside is going to just be just amazing on the outside. Now look at this nice caramelization we're getting on the scallops. You guys smell that vanilla? It's starting to pop too, right? Yeah. We're going to add a little bit of sherry wine, pulling this away. There it goes.
Oh, the flambe.
Let's put a little bit of garlic in the pan. Let's turn this bad boy down. And we're going to finish this off with a little cream. Now, again, one pan, one exciting step after another. Really, really simple. We're getting vanilla, we're getting cream. We're going to add just a little counterbalance of a touch of spice. And remember earlier on the shows, on the segments before, we talked about just a little bit of citrus, and there's just a touch coming out of there. And we have that, and that's it. We have our scallops ready. We've reduced down the vanilla and the cream, and life is good. It doesn't get much easier than that, except for the eating part. So let's put a couple of scallops on our plate. Another easy one to do. Now remember those Moroccan flavors we talked about, right? The cumin, the coriander, and the little chili powder. Those are some great flavors that you get on the dish. And if you want to be a little gourmet and kind of get some more, you just do a little bit on the outside. And then we finalize that with our sauce. We just drizzle our sauce over the top. A little bit of everything. Really yummy. All right. So guys, thank you for being on the show today. Hope you had fun. Tom, thanks for getting everything out of the refrigerator for me. Thank you both for the set. Richard was the designer. Tom is the president of Vermont Custom Cabinetry. And they did a wonderful job. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank
It's
you.
all mine. And that's it for our culinary journey. So, well, until next time, I'll see you on our next culinary journey.